Hi everyone, welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show. I'm Bethany Sparky. This is Penny, who's so freaking cute. All right guys, this is how it works. If you guys want to put your comments below, make sure you include the age and the breed of your dog, and then you can always message us on Instagram or YouTube or just wherever, and we will get to as many questions as we can. Obviously, we try to get to all of them. We can't. It's just not possible. If you are really need some help, we do have an online school, and you can go to the puppyacademy.com and click on the online school to get information about that.
And we're trying something new today. We're going to log both of our phones on Instagram and TikTok so we don't have to re-say questions after Kimberly does. Hopefully skip some of the extra.
Yep. And turn your volume down.
I already did that, but I don't know I don't know how to get on TikTok live, so.
I don't either, I'm sorry.
You should get like a notification, or I don't know. It comes up easily on Instagram. Okay, Emily says, how do I stop my 4-month-old boxer puppy from jumping? I'm sorry, Emily, you got a boxer and nothing can help you. So
you need management, that's all it really is. So have a leash on your puppy.
She says she's desperate. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you got a boxer.
She said you're screwed.
You got a boxer.
You're screwed. No. You just got to have some management. So normally, ideally, we would say to let a dog drag the leash on the harness. Boxer's a little bit different in my eyes.
Even 4-month-old boxer.
Yeah, even 4 months old. Because you have a dog that's so much power and force on his chest and on his front legs that when you get that jump, if you hold back on a harness, you're going with him and flying. So when you have it on the collar, at least when they go for the jump, there's a couple different things I like to do. I like to, one, step in and try a little leg bump. We're not trying to Muay Thai our dog in the head, by the way. It's just supposed to be a firm
but boxers Muay Thai us. Why can't we Muay Thai them?
Because most people can't get their knees above their belt line.
No.
So try your best, but you want to bring up a knee high enough to where you can catch the front of their chest, or when they come down with the bottom of their jaw.
Stay away from the throat.
Yes, thank you. And then you're moving forward at the same time, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to back your dog up a step, almost like you're claiming their space. You're claiming what they're trying to take from you, you're now taking from them. And then after that, you want to try to redirect to something else. It could be commands, it could be a toy just to keep them lower to the ground. But if that doesn't work, and it probably won't for a 4-month-old boxer, is you're going to need that leash as well as your backup. So when they do the jump, I'm going to step forward with the knee to bump them back. And while I'm doing all that, I'm now also then reaching for the leash. So if they come back again, one arm, you're joking. There's no way one arm's going to do it. You're looking for one arm.
I only have one arm.
Two. And you're going up and away from your body while kind of moving into them a little bit. And you can't lift so high that their back feet leave the ground. You only want to lift high enough to where the front feet come off by about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. And the only reason the front feet come off is because they're still trying to dig their head down and apply force forward.
Yeah, you're not lifting them off the ground.
Correct. When they allow their head to lift on its own, like they give into the pressure and they're actually submitting to it, their feet naturally go down on their own. If I could hold a leash this high off the ground, but if a dog's head pushes to the ground, their front feet lift up naturally. That's just how their bodies work. So you're only creating enough tension to get them to back off, which they'll settle on their own. And after getting that settle, a little bit of release, they're probably going to jump on you again, knowing a boxer. Up, forward, move in again,
say no.
Pause, And when they settle, release the arms. And I think you should have a general rule. When your dog is out of the crate, you should have a pouch on your hip at all times, or at least easily accessible. Because the minute I get that dog to settle momentarily, you probably have to do something with them. Some training, some commands. Hand in the pouch, get yourself a lure. Food to the nose. You were not giving it yet. Lure them to place, sit down, good. Come, place, sit down. Come, place, sit down.
Basically, he's saying that you can't rely on just saying no and using the leash. Let's make sure that the training daily is intact. And I would just add one more thing to that. Make sure you're not praising excitement. With boxers, you got to be really careful. If they're being wild and they're happy to see you, and then you pet them, and then they jump on you, or they run to somebody else, or run to grab their toy, you're rewarding excitement. So if they're excited, you need to be calm and teach them how to calm down. When they're calm, Then you can work on getting them excited if you're going to play fetch, or keeping them calm while training. So just make sure you've got multiple parts to that. Okay.
What was the owner's name? I just like to see if they pop up on the chat as well. Sometimes they give follow-ups.
I think Emily. Okay, so we're gonna go with one of these. This is a long one from Leela. So 14-week-old mini poodle puppy. They're having some issues with separation. The puppy's got some giardia and things like that. However, which is really challenging because then you're going out to potty all the time with the dog. However, they're having some success if they cover the crate and she kind of falls asleep and they sneak out. But it's really affecting their relationship with their spouse because they're having these issues with separation anxiety. They can't do anything. Their whole world is revolving around this puppy. I think they got another dog too. I've got some a little bit of bad news for you. One is that's a breed, the Mini Poodle. That's a breed where that's really common. You basically got an infant. That's the level of care that you're needing to give this puppy right now, the level of focus and care and guidance, because you got a breed that's prone to separation anxiety. And what I would say is keep doing what you're doing with the dog is covered and you're kind of sneaking away. You're going to have to keep doing that. When it comes to the incessant barking with small dogs, especially tiny dogs, like your dog is probably half the size of this potentially, is make sure you're not holding them all day. In fact, I'd go 2 weeks with no holding them at all and just training. And I know these breeds can be really finicky about food, but try to hand feed all the food through training and check your excitement. So there's no excitement. It's just matter of fact. Make sure the puppy is on a leash when they come out of crate. So that small of a dog. You could do harness, or you might be able to do just a really thin leash on flat collar, just so they don't bolt out of crate. Make sure they're waiting in crate for permission to come out. You can do that with any breed at any age. I can do that with a 6-week-old puppy if I need to. Because of the level of issues that you're having, and what I mean by that is separation anxiety is a really tough thing. I highly suggest getting into our online school or another program where you have regular feedback and regular help, which kind of leads me to my next thing, just real quick. Christy Tree, she asked, is 15 weeks too young to start training? They got kicked out of obedience school because they are having some aggression issues. I'll get to that in a minute, but 15 weeks is old. I mean, the training starts the first 24 hours that you are with your puppy. They are already learning all about you. So you already want to have a game plan and be enrolled in some sort of program, if possible, the moment you get your puppy. Mm-hmm. All right, do you want to do a TikTok question?
Yeah, we'll do a TikTok question. Oh, I killed my phone. There we go.
You killed your phone.
All right. I saw a lot of messages from someone. Brent, all right. 6-month German Shepherd, or German Short-Haired Pointer. No, GSC, German Shepherd. Okay. Waits, I always get the P and the D mixed up. I don't know my letters. All right. Waits in crate, then goes nuts jumping.
Just so you know, I don't appreciate how you did a southern accent for that. Just so you know.
That was a southern.
I was trying to
He
mimic
was trying
yours.
to be like, doink.
That's how Bethany does her southern accent.
With a
So I was
southern
just copying
hick.
her.
Not
All
southern.
right.
It was more hick. It's not appreciated.
May I move on, madam?
It's not appreciated.
Welcome back. We really missed you these last 2 weeks, Bethany. All right, Brent, help with my puppy, please. 6-month German Shepherd waits in crate, then goes nuts jumping when let out. There was another addition that he added to it. Sorry, bear with me. I gotta find it. He can wait to be released from crate, but then goes nuts when trying to leash or let out. Okay, so that's more specific. Thank you for that specificity for that. So if I have a dog that I'm bringing out of the crate, when he is out of the crate, off leash, we haven't put it on yet, it's freedom.
You're done.
He's able to do whatever he wants to do. I literally, I got 35 puppies on this training floor in this next room, and if you guys listen, it's quiet. Because when we put puppies in, we ungear them when they go into the crate. When we bring puppies out, we gear them up while they're still in the crate. German Shepherd, big dog might be a little bit harder, but I don't want you to think about...
No, bigger. I think bigger's easier because you can use the crate door as leverage.
Yeah, but if that dog's jumping all over the place in that crate...
To be like, no, push in. And I mean, you got to wait this puppy out. I don't care if you get a little tinkle in the crate. You're going to open that crate door 2 inches, and when they break that barrier, no and shut. They paw at it, no and shut. You could try a pet corrector, squirts out air, but you want to get a leash on that puppy quickly, and then you're not done yet. Now you've got the leash, you can kind of reach in and do a little pressure up to settle the puppy down. You're still using crate door, blocking with your legs. You don't have to get a sitter down right away, but that puppy is pausing before they come out. Age, breed, size, none of that matters. That dog can pause, and expect it to take 15 to 20 minutes the first 3 times you do it, and then it'll be cut in half, and then it'll be 2 minutes. Promise.
And then when you let that puppy out and they're still trying to jump, because that's not going to stop the jumping, it
Right.
just gives you leverage.
Right.
They go right back inside that crate. I don't let dogs come out that are showing big energy. I'm trying to tone the energy down. Put them right back inside the crate. If they're not prone to having potty accidents right away after coming out, you might have to get them outside for a potty and then try this. But I'll put them in and out of the crate over and over again until they can do this. Step, 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 and then you can use food to get your sit. But you need to funnel the energy better. When the energy is free release, it's going to go wherever it wants to. If you funnel it into training, you can actually channel it a little bit better.
Yep.
Try that out.
All right, just a little follow-up with that boxer, Emily, we were talking about earlier. You know, she said that he's really mowing over littles and toppling them over. This dog, I would go ahead and do some training, potentially on a training tool of some sort. There are lots of different options, but definitely something where you have head control. This dog should never be off leash around people he can jump on, because he can't control himself yet. That's your job to teach him how to behave. And the first order of business is to teach him how to focus on you and be with you when other people and kids are around, not off leash running around.
And it's super common for us here, but I can't always be with the dog. And when I'm not with the dog, the kids are with the dog. When you can't be with the dog goes back to the crate.
Yep.
If the dog can't handle being out of the crate and the kids can't handle the dog has to be in crate.
Yep. All right. Allie says 7-month-old Havashire puppy gets so excited when he goes outside to see anyone, but freaks out and then can't calm himself down. Woo! How do I help this? At that age, I definitely would have some head control, even though I think it's a small breed dog.
Havashire. What's
Havashire? I was thinking
What's
Havanese.
the Shire?
Staffordshire mixed with a Havanese? No.
I
But
want to
that's-
know who did the work on that one.
Yeah, well, what breed mix is this? Or maybe it's just some fancy breed.
Please
we don't
let
know.
us know what breed mix this is, because
So look for
we're
Allie.
struggling.
Look for an Allie follow-up. I'm just going to scroll down so I know to look for the
Oh, we had
follow-up.
a lot of
But
questions.
anyway, you just need to have some head control and start working on let's go work. I mean, back and forth. That puppy, because it's an adolescent puppy, it's not like puppy, an actual puppy. So look for arousal cues. Arousal cues are alert ears, stiffness, panting, and then closed mouth, like
Double take.
yep, really wrinkly forehead with some breeds. Yeah, because they
The
like
Shar-Pei look.
yeah,
If they're Shar-Peiing.
they're always wrinkly. That doesn't count. You
know.
can't follow Shar-Pei. But anyway, all of these are signs of the earliest moments of arousal. You better give your puppy something to do, or they're going to do something else. So you're turning. You need to change the eyesight, because this puppy is very clearly eyesight driven. They're responding to everything. Turn and move and sit and food work. Practice in your driveway. If you can't get a loose leash walk in your driveway or in front of your home
You're
or
not ready for
condo,
the street.
you're not ready for the street. You could get in your car and go to the park. That's a different style. Like you can do loose leash, let's go work at the park. But for your neighborhood, no. If you can't do it in front of your house, then you can't go for a walk, like an official walk. Also, for anybody out there who's having these issues with your dog, and you let people on the street interact with your puppy, or other dogs interact with your puppy, that issue's never going to go away, because you're letting your puppy, interact with the environment. So why would they ever focus on you? So just kind of keep that in mind.
I also want to mention one more thing. Look up a video or join our online school. Don't just go out there and look up a description of what Let's Go Work is. There needs to be a physical example you can watch, because what I see when I do Let's Go Work with clients that have tried it before is they have chicken arms, which means the arms are back and they're basically flapping those wings, holding their dog up. And when you do those turns, you're basically whipping your dog around, and some of these guys are leaving the ground because the turn is fast and the arms are high. A Let's Go Work walk is the Conor McGregor walk. I want you to think of Conor McGregor walking on the stage, a little bit less Irish, less arm swing, but it's supposed to be very loose and very relaxed. If your arms are up or your body's tense, it's not Let's Go. Watch a video or join the online school. We go over it as well.
And that reminds me, like, does your puppy really understand leash pressure? Like when you're doing your loose leash walk and you're relaxed and then your puppy pulls, do you know how to teach your puppy on-off leash pressure, how to turn pressure off? So anyway, there's you know, I'm not trying to oversimplify it, but it's like there's some basic training. You know, I'm wondering if the puppy has been taught, which is why you can't just go on a walk. You got to teach it.
Did you mention the driveway?
You got to teach it in the driveway and in the front first. Okay, all right, let's move. Let's do, I've got one that I'm supposed to answer. I was told I was supposed to answer it. All right, Jess says, can a puppy be too food motivated? He turns into a hooligan at meal times, and he's so excited to be fed. Training him has become difficult because he smells the food and loses his mind. Okay, here's the problem. I'm like, this happens. I had a dog like this. Here's the problem. It's an 8-week-old golden. How is an 8-week-old golden already like this? Like,
I want to know what your fingers look like. Are they all bloody and bruised?
I feel for you because this is for me. And I'm sure for Sparky too, your golden is not like this golden mix, like at all. Your golden is like a sport dog golden, 8 weeks old.
You're going to have a skinny, long-legged, like weird-looking golden till they're about 6 or 7 months old. But you have a sport golden, which is not the standard golden most people get.
Yeah. So I feel for you. Like that, get into a program right away, either local or online, because I think you're going to need a little bit of ongoing help. Okay, so I had a puppy like this.
You still do. Her name is Happy.
I still do. She's 16 years old, 17.
This dog is cracked for food.
Yes, almost 17. And let me put it to you this way. It's so bad with her that when I would teach her something new, even though I didn't feed like just kibble, like she eats fancy food, I would have to use kibble to teach her new things, to even have a chance at her being able to learn. And she was a small breed dog, so it was hard for me to do training without food. I actually know how to train dogs without food. It's a thing that's very doable, but it takes longer, blah, 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 and it's harder for the average owner. Food is the way to go, but I couldn't even do my old style of training because she's so little, it's harder to manipulate the body. And so I had to use the most boring kibble with her. I had to be so, when I was good, sit, slow food lore, come. I had to be so boring with my dog to train her. But if that's not an option for you, like if none of those things are working, make sure you're using a slow feeder bowl and I don't know, feed your dog more.
Oh my God, you're going to get a fat dog, no fat dogs.
But it's 8 weeks old. 8 weeks old. I'm a little worried.
I am too, but I have to think about it no longer being 8 weeks because it's not acting like an 8-week-old dog.
It's not acting like an 8-week-old dog. So we have to change your perspective and we can't treat it that way anymore. So there are some dogs that don't train with food. I'm going to give
a piece of advice that every other dog trainer who doesn't know this dog, just knows the age, would be like, oh, how could you?
Uh-oh.
I'd put a leash on the dog, probably either on a flat collar if it's big enough, it's a large breed dog, which it is. And then I'm going to practice very gentle pressure on, step in, pressure off when they take a step back and back off. So I'm using food, come, sit, good. And as I go down to treat and they're biting at the bit to get to me, hey, settle down, a little bit of pressure, release, good food. Step back, pause, they step in, step back in again. So I'm going to do body language and very, very minimal leash pressure just to get the dog to give in a little bit to that leash pressure.
I would focus more on body blocking. And by blocking, I mean making contact with the puppy. So if the puppy is jumping up to get the treat, I'm actually going to bump into him a little bit with my leg. I would also teach place right away because place will help anchor your puppy. And then when your puppy steps off in as little as 3 to 4 weeks, you can teach body blocking where you move in and the puppy learns to reset himself in place with that body language and get the food. Also make sure you're doing spatial pressure with front door, back door, and crate. If you don't know what I mean by spatial pressure, please check out our online school. Because you're at the perfect age for it.
I'm going to say this though too. If you do a body block, a little bump with the knee, almost no one ever that I've ever met client-wise at 8 week old are they going to actually give the knee bump. Your dog needs to back off and settle. So that's why I say leash because it gives you a little bit more leverage to not need as hard of a knee. But to give you an idea, when you have a dog jumping on you, and my hands are going to be my knees, everyone else is going to do this. They're going to put their knee up and forward and leave it there, and the dog's going to climb you like a tree. It's got to be this with your knee.
A bump.
Go from... No.
Yeah.
So I'm actually taking my knee and I'm kind of doing like a... No.
It's not a push.
I almost actually tripped. I got my foot caught. You would have felt so bad.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
I would
you
have felt
would not
terrible.
have.
I would have laughed and then been like, oh, wait, are you okay? Are you okay? No, yeah. All right, so let's see here. We've got lots of questions. I'm faster. You want to go?
My dog is 9 months old. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
9 months
All right,
old.
this is from Hello. All right,
Hello.
my dog is Hello.
Yeah, I know, that's Adele.
That's all I got. I just knew the first 3 words.
I know the whole song, but I'll spare you.
You don't want to sing it for them?
Well, no, I will, but I'll spare them. We
If
don't
you guys
have time.
want to wait at the end of the 9:30 at the 1:30 window, Bethany's gonna sing for you guys. She promised us.
I act through it too. I acted out.
Alrighty. This is from 12-week-old puppy struggles to be in crate during the day, but sleeps through the night in a crate. That's pretty normal. You guys are awake, the puppy wants to be awake, but there are things you can do to help the puppy settle quicker. Keep that crate as... Yes?
TikTok.
Yes?
That's
yes.
TikTok question.
Oh.
I know, I'm on the wrong side.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, so there's a couple things you can do to help your puppy settle a little bit quicker. Take that crate. If it's in the living room, I'm working up to that, Bethany.
No, just get a puppy like this.
Oh, this, by the way, is not the normal person.
I would like to take this puppy home, please.
I've watched Penny, and she is not this calm. This is just Bethany. She's just good at what she does.
It's true. It's true.
Can I get back to this now?
Yeah, I don't even remember what you're saying.
Is that appropriate? Okay. Take that crate from your main living space. Living room, kitchen, dining room, wherever you guys are is not where the crate should be. Put that crate in the quietest room of your house. I've even known people to put the crate in a walk-in closet because all the jackets and the coats kind of create some soundproofing. That's Bethany's advice. I stole it.
Yep, small breed dog.
Small breed
Definitely
dog especially.
Can do it.
And then when you have your puppy in the other space, cover it with a towel, sides, front, not the back, because the back is going to be up against the wall and you want a little bit of airflow going in there. And then you could do a white noise machine. You could do a sound machine like a Google Home, a Alexa Dot, whatever you guys have in that room. You could even just put on a fan to circulate some air. And if it's a loud enough fan, it might do the job for you. And throughout the entirety of this, they're still going to be whining, crying, and barking. There's a point that you kind of just ignore it and allow them to work themselves through it. And a lot of puppies do, like 95% of puppies do. You have that short window of puppies, that 5%, that don't, and that's what
I like to say is like 20 to 30 minutes of whining, and they start to self-soothe. I know that's a lot, but if it's going on for an hour or more, you're getting into the true separation anxiety, not just puppy.
Or crate anxiety.
And you need some help.
Yeah, and that's not something we can help you with virtually. That has to be, you probably need to work with a trainer one-on-one.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, awesome. If you do have that, definitely seek someone out. You're looking for a balanced dog trainer for something like that.
And the other part of that is don't do this with your puppy if you're struggling. Like if you just go on Google and you look up how to prevent separation anxiety in dogs, it's going to tell you not to cuddle all day long.
2 weeks, no affection.
And it won't tell you that because they're
probably tell you 2 months, no affection.
Pansies. But anyway, that is true. You should do that
what?
too.
The what? The what?
And then the other thing that you want to make sure is like your comings and goings are really low key. So when you come in the kitchen and your puppy is there with your spouse and they're like, yay, mom, you're going to have to be like, no, calm down. Do not greet me. I do not represent just excitement. Like calm down. And then once you're calm, then I will pet you, love on you. Sometimes I just leave you alone and let you sleep. And if I want to generate excitement, I can go grab a toy and I'm in control of it. Do not start to just represent excitement to your dog.
What you pet is what you get.
Yep.
You pet energy, you reward and promote energy. You pet anxiety, you reward and promote anxiety.
And by anxiety, he means excitement too. Mm-hmm. You should do the hello comment below that because you mentioned the hello person.
Did I? Which one did I read?
Hello.
I read Sarah's.
Yeah, I know. That was Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
ADHD for the win.
Hello.
All right. Stop.
Stop. Sorry.
Now you got to sing for him.
No.
You promised. All right. Hello. My dog is 9 months old and had suddenly become needy, crying in her crate, not going to the potty for hours. Okay, so, all right. So they didn't just suddenly become needy. They've probably been slowly building to it.
Yeah.
But a lot of what she just said for following that, that's the same thing for you. honestly, try that for a week. Come back next week. There's not much more advice we can give you on that one until we know more details and you've tried a solution that we've mentioned.
Oh, I have an addition.
You want to add to it?
If
Go.
it's a 9-month-old and you're playing fetch,
yeah.
at that age, you have to, well, nobody has to do anything, but you have to make sure you're teaching your puppy how to calm down. What I keep seeing is these adolescent dogs, especially drivey dogs, and they're trying to get their energy out. So they're fetch, play, fetch, play, fetch, play, fetch. And then they just grab the toy and put it in the toy box, and their dog is still raring to go. Or they're played to exhaustion, which you don't want either. And so you're taking a drivey dog, or you've done recall work, or chasing the kids around, and then they just come in the house, and you're expecting them to switch gears, and that's not going to happen. So anytime you do anything high drive like fetch, even if you're doing out and wait, and even if they can do all the good impulse control stuff, it doesn't matter. You need to stay wherever you're playing fetch, have the toy with you, and teach them enough. Enough is enough, or no play, or all done. I don't care what
You're
word.
creating an off switch.
Yeah, and so you're blocking them till they settle, or teaching them to go to place and settle for at least 5 to 10 minutes, and then you calmly come back into the home, and you need to do that kind of stuff every time you do something that's fun, playing with the kids, whatever that may be.
That's a good point because I forgot it was 9 months old.
Yeah,
it's
older.
not a puppy anymore.
No,
it's
it's
an
not
adolescent
this.
dog. Just so you know, 8 months old, guys, that's when your dog stops being a puppy. They become an adolescent. That's like when I stopped becoming a little kid and I became a teenager and I hated my parents, did everything opposite what they said.
Yep.
Welcome to adolescence.
All right, I wanted to make sure we got to this. Christy is having has a 15-week-old golden retriever who was kicked out of puppy class for being too aggressive, I'm guessing, towards the other dogs. That's really unfortunate. There's gonna be a genetic component there. You didn't do that. Even if you did everything wrong, you didn't make this dog have issues with other dogs. There is a very strong genetic component here. You might not have helped. You know, whenever something happened, a lot of people react the improper way because they don't know any better. They don't expect to get this. But just for the record, you didn't create this that young. There's a genetic component. Okay, I'm worried of over-exercising. And let's see, kicked out of puppy class for being too aggressive. Sorry, I'm just trying to follow. There were several. What should I do? Honestly, if you think you're over-exercising your puppy, you probably are. Because what you need to be focusing on is controlled, focused obedience work. If I have a puppy like yours, I'm doing 70% that, and then the rest is play-oriented. And very quickly, I'm teaching out or drop it with a ball or a tug toy. I like to start with a tug toy.
I like out.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah, out or drop it. It kind of means the same thing, although I'm later, as they get older, I add more accountability for out. I guess that would be the difference.
You
but
take
anyway,
away the permissiveness by teaching out.
Yes. And but honestly, drop it could mean the same thing as out. It depends on how you're teaching it. But very quickly, you need to really focus just on your relationship with your dog, because this puppy, I know they're in their socialization window, but it's already not social. So I strongly suggest you spend 2 weeks just hardcore 15 minutes. 4 times a day if you have time. I'm doubling it for you. Hand feeding for basic obedience, trying to steer away from excitement and being more neutral when training if that's appropriate for your dog. If you need to build them up because they're bored or lazy, she's not usually like this though. If I had a dog like this and I'm like, come on puppy, let's go. But usually that's not the case. Usually I'm like, puppy, come, sit, good, deliver food, right? It's very robotic. I would really dive into that super quick and focus on your relationship with your puppy.
Then neutral tone.
Yes. Then find an older, I know this is hard. This is so much easier said than done. Maybe find a trainer who has an older dog that is very tolerant of puppy shenanigans. I have a German Shepherd like that. She's so great with puppies like this. And then see how your puppy is with that sort of energy. He may just be overwhelmed by all the puppy nonsense. When I did puppy classes, when I did puppy classes. And I
How
had
long ago was that?
It was a long time ago because it's really hard and really, really hard, and you don't get paid enough for it. Anyway, I would take the two most difficult puppies, kind of like what you're describing, and I would take a difficult puppy and then a calmer, more I don't really care to play puppy, and I would put them in their own pen and see how they did. Or I would bring one of my own dogs as a neutral for just that one puppy. It would never be a free-for-all in the whole class. I mean, how many classes can really do that? Not many. That's why they kick out a ton of puppies. It's not just you, I swear. I know you're having problems, but it's not just you. Okay, do you want to, let's see.
We just hit time.
Oh, we
so
just
let's
hit
get
time.
One more.
Okay.
One more.
All right.
Do Instagram. No, do Instagram.
Okay.
I answered more questions from TikTok.
My 5-month, this is from Blaze the Creator. Woo, it's quite a name.
We've had him before.
Oh, look, they've got like a little camera. So fancy. Anybody want to look at some photography, go to Blaze the Creator. All right.
I want to see it.
My 5-month-old Golden is either aggressive, wanting to play with my 5-year-old Chihuahua. He blocks her from walking on from time to time. Okay, I know what you mean. Your Golden is controlling where your 5-year-old Chihuahua goes.
It's not necessarily aggression yet. But it's going to probably happen when your Chihuahua finally has enough and really snarls and snaps at him, and he might retaliate, and then it becomes that.
It sounds like your Golden not only is a bigger dog, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to be mean, but not the best fit for your Chihuahua, but also has a bigger energy, which you couldn't tell, when you were getting your Golden Retriever puppy. But it's no matter the size, even if your Chihuahua was a Mastiff, when you get a puppy that has a stronger energy than the other dog in the home, you got a bit of a challenge on your hands. So what you're looking at is this puppy is getting a little more crate time than you would have liked to have. Your Chihuahua hopefully likes to go into the bedroom and spend a few hours there a couple times a day. That way you can focus on the puppy. But anytime that puppy is out with the Chihuahua, on leash, attached to you, or you're holding the leash.
The puppy is. Or back tied to something that's very consistent, so the Chihuahua knows they can walk around at a distance. Maybe, this is what I have a crazy Malinois, 4.5-month-old right now, and this puppy gets a back tie and then one of those fences at the same time, because it just helps him be calmer being back tied. He needs a barrier. He needs some kind of boundary that's physical, whereas most dog, it creates frustration.
Right.
This dog, it helps with.
But he would just crash through that barrier. Even if I'd have to have like a wooden hardcore thing in my house for this Malinois not to just.
You need an impact crate barrier.
Yeah, and so I got to do the back tie and the barrier, and this helps my other dogs. I have an elderly dog that I'm working around this puppy. It helps her, give her some freedom and give her some movement, so I don't have to be on top of them, because they're just not going to get along for a while. Focus on cultivating your relationship with your Golden and having more separation and separate existing. And what I mean by that is the Chihuahua's out, but you're holding the leash to your puppy.
I like that.
So you're not removing them completely all day, but they do need breaks.
They're going to have a separate existence probably for the first year until that dog is about maybe a year and a quarter, year and a half. They're going to have very separate existence. They're going to be within the same space, but they're not going to have access to each other until the Chihuahua starts building up more comfort and shows a bit of curiosity, which isn't going to happen until you have a pretty solid place command probably.
Yeah, so, I wanted to mention real quick, 5-month-old, because I just saw your comment. The 5-month-old, he might lose his mind trying to be attached to you and watching the Chihuahua, because he's already had access to the Chihuahua, so this is very confusing for him.
And the crate can be boundary frustration if that Chihuahua is constantly walking in front of it. He's tracking it, he's getting more amped up. Yeah,
make sure there's full-on breaks. But I might just spend 2 weeks maybe keeping them more separate and cultivating more impulse control with your puppy. Because a 5-month-old puppy should be able to do place duration for 20 to 30 minutes with you right there next to him. And so I don't want you to just work on that, but work on recall and just, I don't know, maybe fine-tune your training, focus on that a little bit more to make sure there's more of a relationship between you and your Golden than your Golden thinking it's the Golden and the Chihuahua.
That's why she said give a couple weeks where they don't get very much contact so you can build a relationship with your Golden. So then the day that your Golden locks eyes with your Chihuahua, thinks about going, it could be maybe allowed to break him out of it. That scared Kimberly. Boom, to break him out of it. And then when your Golden kind of like startles, puppy come, good, food, walk, and let's go the other direction.
Still all on leash, but,
Yes.
we're trying to prevent a ton of frustration.
Nothing that I just said would work if you didn't have
Yeah,
leash.
But we're just trying to prevent a ton of frustration from your 5-month-old because he's like, why don't I have access to the Chihuahua anymore? And then you can get a lot of mouthing on the leash. But anyway, just come back.
A little bit more frustration.
Let us know what you get, and we'll make sure we prioritize you. All right, guys. Thanks so much, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. Bye.
Awkward smile time.